One tiny soybean can end up with 5 completely different lives. It can grow into a long, crunchy onsen sprout, become a paper-thin sheet of yuba, turn into soft tofu, ferment for months into dark soy sauce, or transform into sticky natto covered in stretchy strings. So how can millions of the same small beans become foods that look, taste, and feel completely different inside these workshops and factories? Soybeans are soaked, heated, sprouted, pressed, cultured, fermented, and packaged using techniques that combine simple ingredients with very precise timing. Now, let's discover the 5 surprising lives of one tiny soybean, because apparently, being just a bean was never enough. These unusually long soybean sprouts are not the kind you casually find hiding at the bottom of a grocery bag. They are onsen-grown sprouts, raised in a warm, carefully managed environment until the stems become long, pale, and wonderfully crisp. The finished bundles already look impressive, but the real work happens underneath all that straw. The growing area is prepared inside a protected building where warmth can be carefully maintained. Warm spring water moves through the growing system, helping create the gentle conditions the beans need. The soaked soybeans are placed into long-growing beds. They are kept away from strong light, so the young shoots remain pale instead of turning green. At this stage, there is not much to see above the surface. Underneath, however, the beans are waking up, splitting open, and quietly beginning their upward journey. Next comes a surprisingly simple-looking material straw. Thick layers are arranged over the growing beds to help hold warmth and moisture around the beans. More straw is added. Then heavy woven mats are placed over the top. It looks a little like someone is making an enormous vegetable sandwich. Except the filling is thousands of tiny soybeans with ambitious career plans. The dark, warm environment encourages the sprouts to keep stretching. The beds are covered completely and left under carefully maintained conditions. Below the mats, the stems slowly grow longer. Because light is limited, they stay creamy white, while the small soybean heads remain yellow. The straw also creates tiny spaces where warmth and moisture can move through the bed. Nothing here is rushed. The grower simply maintains the environment and lets the beans do what beans apparently do best: turn patience into noodles with leaves. And stay with this process, because removing those mats reveals just how much growth has been hiding underneath. The coverings are finally pulled back. Under the straw is a dense layer of long soybean sprouts, packed closely together. The difference is remarkable. Small beans have become slender white stems with bright yellow tips. The grower gently separates the mature sprouts from the bed and gathers them by hand. They are handled carefully because the long stems can bend or snap. Instead of grabbing random handfuls, the workers collect them into neat bundles, keeping the stems aligned. Suddenly, the mysterious straw beds make perfect sense. The harvested sprouts now move to washing. Large containers of clean water remove loose soil. bits of straw, and anything left from the growing bed. The bundles are moved through the water while the workers gently loosen and rinse the stems. This is not exactly a relaxing swim for the sprouts, but at least everybody leaves much cleaner than they arrived. Damaged pieces are removed while good sprouts are kept together. The long white stems become brighter and cleaner, making their crisp texture much easier to see. After washing, the sprouts are sorted and gathered into tidy bundles. The finished onsen soybean sprouts are exceptionally long, with thin, pale stems and small yellow heads. They can now be prepared for soups and other dishes, where their crisp texture becomes the main attraction. From a dry soybean to a stem this long, the transformation is almost comical, but do not get too comfortable. The soybean has plenty of tricks left. Next, instead of becoming a sprout, it is about to turn into something so thin and delicate that it can be lifted like a sheet of fabric. The journey returns to the soybean itself. For yuba production, soybeans are first prepared, so their protein and natural oils can be transferred into rich soy milk. The beans are soaked, ground with water, and filtered. The solid pulp is separated, leaving smooth soy milk ready for heating. That plain white liquid may not look especially exciting yet. Give it a little heat, though, and it starts making its own edible blanket. The soy milk is transferred into wide, shallow heated vats. Gentle heat keeps the liquid hot without aggressively boiling it. Steam rises across the room while workers carefully watch the surface as water slowly evaporates. Proteins and fats gather at the top of the soy milk. A thin, cream-colored film begins to appear. It is almost as if the soy milk suddenly decides it needs a jacket. That delicate surface layer is fresh yuba. Once the film becomes strong enough, the worker carefully lifts it from the surface. The sheet rises slowly from the vat, glossy and soft, while excess soy milk drains back down. Timing matters here. Lift it too early, and the sheet is too fragile. Leave it too long, and the texture changes. Each newly formed layer is removed, and then the exposed soy milk begins creating another one. Soy milk, apparently, is very committed to replacing missing blankets. The fresh sheets are hung on wooden rails so they can drain and settle. Side by side, the pale yellow yuba looks almost like thin fabric hanging in a very unusual laundry room. The heating and lifting cycle continues again and again. A film forms, it is lifted, it drained, then another film takes its place. This repeated process turns one vat of soy milk into multiple delicate sheets. Fresh yuba can remain soft and creamy, or be allowed to become firmer depending on how it will be served. Its mild soybean flavor works with many different dishes. And now the soybean is changing costumes again. We have seen it become a long sprout. For tofu, prepared soy milk enters the production system and is heated under controlled conditions. The smooth liquid is transferred through stainless steel equipment into the next stage. At the moment, it still looks like an ordinary creamy drink. That will not last long. A food-grade coagulant is mixed with the hot soy milk almost immediately. The proteins begin joining together. Soft white curd. The soy sauce process begins with wheat. The grains are poured into a large roasting pan and heated while being continuously stirred. Roasting develops a deeper aroma and prepares the wheat for the fermentation process that comes later. The grains keep moving so the heat reaches them evenly. No lounging around in the corner of the pan. Everybody gets toasted equally. The wheat continues roasting until it develops the desired fragrance and color. After heating, it is spread out to cool. Cooling is important before the wheat meets the other ingredients. The grains are then prepared so they can mix evenly with the soybeans. A simple soybean and a simple grain of wheat are about to become a team responsible for one of the most recognizable flavors in the kitchen. The roasted wheat is spread into a broad layer and worked by hand. The workers check its texture and distribute it evenly as the remaining heat escapes. This careful preparation creates a consistent base for the next stage. Meanwhile, the soybeans are being prepared separately, and this is where the pace becomes much slower. Good soy sauce is not interested in sprinting. The soybeans are thoroughly cooked until they become soft and aromatic. In this traditional process, the beans shown here are cooked slowly for around 4 hours. Heat softens their structure, so the soybean proteins can later be broken down during fermentation. When the lid opens, a cloud of steam escapes and the cooked beans are ready for cooling. 4 hours in the cooker, and not a single soybean has asked for a coffee break. The cooked soybeans are removed and spread into a broad, shallow layer. Excess moisture and heat are allowed to escape. Workers turn and distribute the beans so they cool more evenly. The goal is a suitable temperature for the microorganisms used in the next stage. Too much heat would interfere with them, so patience once again becomes an ingredient. And now comes one of the most important transformations in the entire soy sauce process. The cooled soybeans are mixed thoroughly with the prepared roasted wheat. A koji starter is introduced to the mixture. The workers use their hands and tools to distribute everything as evenly as possible. Every section needs access to the same ingredients and conditions. The mixture is then arranged in shallow wooden trays. At this point, it may simply look like a pile of beans and grain. Very soon, however, the koji culture will completely change its appearance and aroma. The trays enter a warm wooden koji room, where temperature and humidity are closely controlled. The mixture remains here for roughly 40 hours, while the koji develops. During this period, enzymes begin working on the proteins and carbohydrates inside the soybeans and wheat. The room looks quiet, biochemically. It is extremely busy. It is basically a tiny fermentation hotel, where every guest is working overtime. The workers regularly inspect the trays because the developing koji produces its own heat. The mixture must be managed carefully. The trays are rearranged between different positions, and the beans are loosened when necessary, so temperature and moisture remain more even. The worker may move an upper tray lower or bring a lower tray higher. There are no luxury rooms here. Everyone gets rotated. These small adjustments help the koji develop consistently across the entire batch. As the process continues, the soybean and wheat mixture becomes coated with mature koji. The grains that once looked separate now have a light, textured surface. Its enzymes are ready for the next major step. This is the stage that helps unlock the deep savory character associated with soy sauce. And if 40 hours sounded patient, wait until the wooden barrels enter the story. They are definitely not in a hurry. The finished koji is combined with salt and water to create a thick fermentation mash, known as moromi. The mixture is placed into large traditional wooden vats. The salt helps control the fermentation environment, while the koji enzymes continue breaking down the soybean proteins and wheat components. The mash is mixed carefully, so the ingredients remain evenly distributed. From here, time becomes one of the main tools. No fancy button can replace it. Inside the wooden vats, the moromi gradually matures. The mash is periodically stirred, bringing different layers together and allowing the contents to develop more evenly. Its color deepens and its aroma becomes richer as fermentation continues. The wooden vats themselves are an impressive sight. They are enormous, sturdy, and clearly built for a job where the main instruction is basically, "See you much later." But eventually, the fermented mash is ready to give up its liquid. The matured moromi is prepared for pressing. The thick mash is carefully arranged inside cloth and stacked in layers. Pressure is then applied using a large traditional wooden pressing system. Slowly, dark amber liquid begins flowing from the compressed mash. That liquid is the foundation of soy sauce. The press works steadily, rather than violently, squeezing the liquid from layer after layer, and there it is: beans, wheat, salt, water, microorganisms, and a remarkable amount of patience transformed into a deep brown seasoning. Finally, put those ancient wooden barrels aside, because we are about to enter a soybean spaceship factory. This transformation does not really change the shape of the beans. Instead, it changes something else: their stickiness. Fornato. Small soybeans are selected as the starting material. The beans are checked so damaged pieces and unwanted material can be removed before processing. Uniform beans help create a more consistent finished texture. At first, they look completely ordinary. That is almost funny considering how dramatically their texture will change by the end. The selected soybeans are cleaned and soaked in water. As they absorb moisture, the beans swell and become softer. This prepares them for cooking and helps the heat reach the center more evenly. Once fully hydrated, they are transferred into the cooking system. The tiny beans have officially finished their bath. Now comes the sauna. The soaked soybeans are steamed or pressure cooked until soft. Inside the large stainless steel equipment, heat penetrates the beans while maintaining the moisture needed for natto. The production room suddenly becomes a very organized bean relay race. A carefully prepared natto starter containing beneficial fermentation bacteria is introduced to the warm-cooked soybeans. The beans are mixed, so the culture can spread throughout the batch. Clean equipment and controlled handling are especially important here, because the desired bacteria need the right environment to grow. From this moment onward, fermentation becomes the star of the show. The beans still look normal. Give them time. They are working on the special effects. The inoculated soybeans move into automated packaging equipment. Measured portions are placed into small containers. The trays continue along the production line, while covers and packaging materials are applied. Machines repeat the same movements quickly and consistently, tray after tray. It is a major change from the giant wooden soy sauce barrels. One process says ancient workshop. This one says soybean spaceship factory. The filled containers are organized into crates and transferred to a controlled fermentation area. Warm conditions allow the natto bacteria to multiply across the cooked soybean surfaces. During fermentation, the familiar sticky compounds begin developing. After the active fermentation stage, cooling slows the process and allows the natto to mature. This is where ordinary cooked soybeans quietly become something unmistakable. A finished package is opened. At first glance, the soybeans still look small and familiar. Then they are lifted. Glossy threads stretch between the beans, revealing the classic natto texture. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay hungry, and join us in the next video for another amazing journey behind how everyday foods are made.